Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is George Uman and I'm your friendly neighborhood anime and manga fan. I love all things anime and all things manga, and I'm here today to talk about Chainsaw Man chapter 205. So, what did I think about this week's chapter? To be quite frank with you guys, I thought this week's chapter was great because it really showed a comparison between the Fire Devil and Denji and pretty much their relationship with each other, in the sense of there's a similar story going down with the Fire Devil that really parallels a lot with pretty much what Denji and Pochita have together. You know, their strong bond, and it was really great to get an insight of what the Fire Devil has been up to and what's their motives and all that. As well as we get to see a big cliffhanger between pretty much the Fallen Devil and Denji. That is going to be an epic fight, I'm sure, in the next couple chapters. Now, before I go any further with this week's chapter, I just want to give you guys a quick reminder to make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you guys can be up to date with all my anime and manga, as well as all my Chainsaw Man content that I'll be providing in this channel. It really helps out a lot, and I would really appreciate it if you guys could subscribe to my YouTube channel. So if you guys could, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now, with all that out of the way, let's talk about this week's chapter. So this week's chapter starts off right where we left off last time, which was pretty much the Fire Devil being like, do you remember this face? And I had seen a lot of people in the comment section, as well as a lot of people online, just theorizing like, oh, who's gonna be? Is it gonna be like showing like Denji's father? There was some people saying, oh, is that gonna be like Aki's face? A lot of great theories, a lot of speculation, and I'm actually very happy to say that none of them were correct, at least from what I saw. And it was actually very shocking, slash it was very surprising what we saw, because the face that we get revealed in this chapter apparently is a person that we actually had seen earlier in the story, which I will get to in a bit. But as we see this face, for me personally, when I saw the face, I was like, who is this guy? Like, who is this Joe? And what happens is pretty much the Fire Devil proceeds to give us a little bit of a background story to itself, as well as the person that we're seeing in the floor, you know, with the head. And we find out that apparently at one point the Fire Devil was pretty much injured and at a very weak state, and a pair of twins found it and pretty much nurtured it and were pretty much taking care of it. And this is where we start to see the similarities slash parallels between what happened with Pochita and Denji and what we saw pretty much in the beginning of the story, where Denji took on Pochita and pretty much nurtured it and took care of it and befriended it. It seems to be that these twins did the same thing with the Fire Devil. And they pretty much took it in and took care of it, and the Fire Devil has a lot of strong feelings towards these twins, because obviously they saved its life, and it proved that, you know, the Fire Devil was actually, it didn't just prove the Fire Devil was actually kind in nature. It also proved that, you know, devils could be trusted in some regard. You know, as long as, you know, you treat them right, you know, some devils might actually be loyal. And it seems like the Fire Devil was that to the twins, because apparently as the twins nurtured it and got it back to you know, full health, they kept talking about pretty much the Chainsaw Man. It's like, you know, the reason we helped you is because, you know, there's this one devil that, you know, his name is Chainsaw Man, and he's actually a very, like, a superhero. He's actually a good guy, and, you know, he's doing it for justice, he's saving us. And what we find out throughout it all is that apparently these twins, as the Fire Devil, you know, it started to grow more feelings towards them. You know, he eventually gave the twins what they wanted, which was power to pretty much become like the Chainsaw Man through justice. And this is what the whole thing where the Chainsaw Man church, where we find out that it, you know, everybody thought that the Justice Devil made a deal with all these people, when in reality it was the Fire Devil. And this is how we play around that whole situation, where we see that the Fire Devil granted them the powers to be transformed into Chainsaw Man. And in exchange, you know, they were able to do their own justice, you know, because they looked up to Chainsaw Man as their savior and why not. And it really showcased, like I said, that the Fire Devil in reality wasn't doing anything malicious, at least in my interpretation. Like, it actually seemed like the Fire Devil was coming from a good place of heart and was actually trying to help people out and giving them what they wanted, which was to be like Chainsaw Man. And what happens is eventually the Fire Devil is like, so telling you about these twins, you don't remember their face at all. And then Denji, because Denji's like, what, so you want me to apologize to this face or something? And this where the Fire Devil's like, listen, the one time you fought the Cockroach Devil, which was a long time ago. It's actually, if I remember correctly, it was the first time we had seen Denji in part 2. If you guys remember, it's the iconic scene where Denji saves a cat, where he's fighting the Cockroach Devil and all that. Apparently that actually played a huge factor, which surprising to me. I didn't expect that to be the case, but it is. And what happens is apparently we find out that as Denji, you know, as he saved the cat, and, you know, you guys remember he let somebody go and die, that person that he let go was one of the twins. And obviously you see the twin died. And as we see the head, we see that apparently it was the other twin, where we see that he was trying to get his revenge on Denji because he betrayed him. He betrayed everything that Denji was. Hence why he was like, you're a fake Chainsaw Man, you're not the real Chainsaw Man. At least that's what I'm assuming, that the fake Chainsaw Man all along was that one of the remaining twin, the twin that did not die from falling down when Denji saved them. And this is where pretty much the Fire Devil was like, that's the case, you let him die because you're one of your biggest fans because of a cat. And Denji's like, okay, so what? Do you want me to like, are you telling me all of this so I can apologize or something? Like, what do you want from me? And this is where the Fire Devil says something very interesting. Where it's like, no, you're a devil. It is what it is. I get it. I will give you a warning / I'll let you in a little bit of an insight of what's to come, because I'm telling you right now, in the future, you will have 2 options. And this time, make sure you pick the right one. In other words, and this is I think this is a very important moment, because I think that the Fire Devil is saying something along the lines like, in the future, there will be a scenario where you have to save one person, where you have to make a choice. There will be 2 people and you have to make a choice. And you have to make sure that you get the right choice next time. And if I'm, speculating, I think that this is a foreshadowing to eventually where there will come a moment where Denji has to choose between Asa and Yoru, and Denji will have to pick, obviously, Asa. I think that's what the Fire Devil's hinting at. Like, there'll come a time where you have to pick the hard choice, and this time you have to pick the right one. I could be wrong. It might be another scenario where Denji actually has to save a civilian over saving Yoru. Maybe something like that. Who knows? But I think that the line that the Fire Devil said to Denji at the end will have great significance towards the end of later in the story. But continuing on, you see that the Fire Devil just like turns to like ash. He disappears. Pretty much, I'm sure he went away. And then she's like, what? And as we see all this, we catch up with Yoru. And what is Yoru doing? She's covered by this building. She's like all the building fell on her. And she seems to be defeated by the Fallen Devil, because she's like, hey, Chainsaw Man, I need your help. And then she's like, what? I thought you had it. It's like, listen, are you going to help me or not? I need your help. And then she's like, all right, fair enough. I mean, because like, do you really don't want to help me? He's like, okay, I guess I'll help you. Yes, I do want to help you, duh. So he starts walking over there, but that's when he gets intercepted by who else but the Fallen Devil. And the Fallen Devil pulls up, and this is where pretty much Joel was like, hey, help me out, Chainsaw Man, I need your help. And the chapter pretty much ends where we see the final panel being the Fallen Devil facing up with the Chainsaw Man. Once again, we got a round 2. Can't wait for this fight, because obviously, if you guys saw my previous review, I even stated, I was like, bro, the Fallen Devil is really powerful. Like, I did not think that Yoru, even with like these buffs, like the Fallen Devil was very broken. She was able to like pretty much defeat both Denji and Yoru back last times. But I know that Yoru got a buff. But even then, I was not very sure that she could stand up to the Fallen Devil. And from the looks of it, she can't at the moment. That's why she needs Denji's help. So I'm assuming the next chapter, obviously we're going to see Denji fight the Fallen Devil. And I'm very interested to see how that fight plays out. Because from the looks of it, it's going to be a very hard fight. Obviously, Yoru got taken down. And I'm wondering, is it going to be a 2v1? Because we also haven't seen the Famine Devil. Famine, the actual Famine Devil. We have not seen her step in and try to join the fight. We obviously saw that the fake Chainsaw Man got defeated. So now I'm wondering, is this the moment where the Famine Devil shows up and starts fighting? Or will the Death Devil show up and give some help to both the Famine Devil and the Falling Devil? 2 Fs. Or will she just watch it from behind? Because obviously the real Death Devil, she's just been chilling in the back. Is she going to watch the subordinates be taken down, and that's where she'll make her move later on? Or what's exactly going to happen? Because we obviously know that they're going to fight, but I'm wondering how this fight's going to go. Is it going to be a very close fight? Is Denji eventually going to be taken over by Pochita again, and that's how he's going to be able to defeat the Fallen Devil? A lot of questions and a lot of interesting notes in this chapter that I'm very excited to see next chapter being played off, because Fujimoto definitely cooked in this chapter. But with all that being said, what did you guys think about this week's chapter? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? Did you guys thought it was alright? Whatever you guys thought, let me know in the comment section down below. Also, thank you so much for sticking all the way to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel for more Chainsaw Man, as well as more anime and manga content in the near future. But yeah, with all that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.